bodhonya sadhanebhyo hi sakshanmokshaika sadhanam akasya vahnivajyanam vina moksho na siddhyati. Bodhyaha, knowledge of the self. Anya sadhanebhyo, in comparison with other contributory cause. He, indeed, sakshat, direct, mokshaik sadhanam, the one means for liberation, akasya, for cooking, vahnivat, just as the fire, jnanam, realized knowledge, vina, without, mokshaha, emancipation, na, not, siddhyati, to be accomplished. As fire is the direct cause of cooking, so knowledge, and not any other form of discipline, is the direct cause of liberation. For liberation cannot be attained without knowledge.
Namaste. So this is where things start to get complicated. In the first shloka, we are told, you must be qualified to hear this knowledge. And certainly to realize it is impossible without that qualification. That's why it's better to go back and gain the qualification before attempting to realize this knowledge. So, what does he say in the next verse? This knowledge, Brahma Vidya, or Brahma Jnana, or tmabodhah, is the direct cause of liberation. Because liberation cannot happen without this knowledge. But, this is a very big but, from the previous shloka we know that it won't work without the qualification. So yes, knowledge is the cause of liberation. It's actually the only cause of liberation. But the contributing cause is the qualification. Being sinless by virtue of practice of austerity, many years of vegetarianism, many years of mantra chanting, prayers, offerings, charity, austere lifestyle, like shaving the head is one austerity. And there are so many more. Living a clean, simple life, not aspiring for any big material position or situation, and so on and so on. Unless you get these qualifications, which are what? Peacefulness. No desires. Desire is the cause of suffering. So if we want to become free from suffering, we have to drop desires. Not the necessary desires like eating, sleeping, having a roof over your head. No, those desires are okay because they're routine. But big desires like becoming the CEO or becoming some kind of a famous performer of some kind, these are all extraneous desires, unnecessary desires. They only increase suffering. Celibacy is a very important qualification for a sadhu. Why? Not because sex is so bad all by itself, but because all the complications and all the nonsense around sex, all the power games, all the skullduggery, all the drama, totally interferes with your peace. And without peace, you cannot realize tmabodhah. Why? Because the agitation, the mental noise coming from desires, big efforts to attain things in the material world, the imaginary philosophy of I and mine, greed, lust, anger, hatred. All these things cover over our original real knowledge. And they prevent us from perceiving Brahman. How is Brahman perceived? Because Brahman is generally imperceptible. Well, there are two ways, and they're both indirect. The first way is that the light of Brahman reflects off of the purified mind and intelligence. This is the light seen in meditation. If you're not seeing light in your meditation, it means your mind and intelligence are still covered by too much dust, too much dirt, material desires, fear, anger, jealousy. You have to polish those, you have to clean those. And that is done with sadhana, mantra especially. Many years may be necessary before the light begins to shine spontaneously by reflection. Because the self is our self. And when that self illuminates itself and shines, that illumination is reflected by the mind, intelligence, senses, body, and so on. So the way we can indirectly see the self is by the reflection of its light from the purified mind and intelligence in meditation. And the other way is by knowledge, by knowing that I am Brahman and nothing else. I am not this body, not this mind and intelligence, not these senses. I am not in the world. Rather, all that is within me, the self, the original source of everything. So, by this cultivation of knowledge, atma-gyan, Brahma-vidya, or tmabodhah, we come to perceive Brahman, because Brahman is self-illuminated. If you ask anybody on the street, hey, do you exist? Of course they're going to say, yes, I exist. Are you conscious? Yes, I'm conscious. Are you some kind of wisecracker? Is this some kind of a trick? No, we're just trying to find out if people in general are aware that they're aware. Because this is another symptom of the self, consciousness of consciousness. Consciousness exists in the mind and senses because it is the perception of some quality of nature. So the mind and senses are the natural platform of consciousness. And Buddha says there are 6 kinds of consciousness. Eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, skin consciousness, and mental consciousness, consciousness of thoughts and dreams. So these consciousnesses are a knower, a known, and a knowing. This is duality. Consciousness requires duality for its existence. So there cannot be ordinary consciousness in non-duality. What we experience in non-duality is consciousness of consciousness. This is also called turiya. So these are what we are trying to cultivate by this sadhana, by this atma-jnana or atma-bodha. We're trying to cultivate knowledge of knowledge, awareness of awareness, consciousness of consciousness. And just by knowing about it, Brahma-vidya means verbal, scriptural, or symbolic knowledge. That is not going to change our consciousness. That is not going to let us realize Brahman. And there are some rascals who say, just by knowing about Brahman, Brahman is automatically realized. Well, that's not true. Unless you are following the instructions in the first verse that one should be purified by practice of tapasya and so on. One should be of quiet mind, still and steady mind, focused intelligence. And that will lead to full realization of Brahman.
Om Tat Sat, Om Shakti